Today, the U.S. women's hockey team is golden with a huge win over Canada to secure yet another gold medal for Team USA in the Olympics, plus Alyssa Liu and Amber Glenn stunning on the ice. Another massive, massive performance and another massive, massive win for Team USA. Plus, we have a couple of upsets. Jordan Stolz being upset by China, and some updates on some Olympic controversies, including curling, skiing, and we also discussed the new sport of ski mountaineering. All that and more right here today on Coast to Coast Sports. If you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel for more content as we recap the Olympics. It is Thursday, and we are recapping another day of brilliant Olympic coverage as we wind down towards the end of these Olympic Games. My name is Levi, and let's get into it. U.S. women's hockey, they are officially golden. They secure the win over Team Canada in a thriller. What a match. What a run for Team USA. Just the sort of run that you dream of as a player, as an athlete. You want to win games like this. You want to win the big games. And Team USA, they were the favorites. Many people are saying this is one of the best women's hockey teams of all time, one of the most dominant women's hockey teams of all time. And they did go on quite the spectacular run. I believe they were undefeated in Olympic play, and they take down Canada, obviously a heated rival. Just really, really cool to see what they were able to do in these Olympic Games. And we'll see what the men can do, because it looks like the men probably, if they can beat Slovakia, they are also going to be taking on Canada. The women get the win 2-1 over Canada. The winning goal being scored by... Not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head who scored the winning goal. So I apologize for that. But, yeah, a great win. They also took down Sweden. They took down pretty much every team they played. Team USA was brilliant in this women's hockey tournament. And again, they were the best team in the field. They should have won this game. I mean, they were the best team in the field. But it's a sort of sport where anything can happen. You know, you really don't know what will happen in hockey because it's a one-game event. And in a one-game event, there's a lot of pressure on, even if you end up with the best team on paper, upsets are going to happen, you know? So that's where just getting the job done helped Team USA out a lot. If you look at what they did, they won 5-1 in the prelims against Czechia. They won 5-0 in the prelims against Finland. They won 5-0 in the prelims against Switzerland. They won 5-0 in the prelims against Canada. They won 5-1 in the prelims against Latvia. Quarterfinals, 6-0 win over Italy, and then a 6-3 win against Denmark. That was in the men's. I'm not sure why I'm seeing both men and women. Women go to the semifinals. They beat Sweden 5-0, another 5-0 win, another shutout win. In a gold medal game, Canada did give them a fight. They took them to overtime. It was tied 1-1, and the United States got the job done. Hillary Knight with a goal, and then Keller, Megan Keller with the game-winning goal. That's who it was. Megan Keller with the game-winning goal in overtime to take down Team Canada and win it 2-1. Team USA 33 shots on goal. Canada with 31 shots on goal. So very even from that perspective. Kristen O'Neill scored the lone goal for Team Canada. Credit to Canada, honestly, for coming back after losing 5-0 in the preliminary rounds. They did come back, made it a close game, a 2-1 game in overtime. But at the end of the day, the favorites got the job done, and that was, of course, Team USA. And speaking of Team USA winning gold medals, another big-time gold medal for Team USA coming in women's figure skating, ending a 20-year medal drought. Alyssa Liu is golden. She puts together the free skate of her life. It was a beautiful, beautiful program, perfect in almost any way, shape, or form. And she moved from third after the short program to first place after the free skate, and she takes home the gold medal, taking down Team Japan, who were the favorites to win the gold in this event. Japan ends up taking the silver and the bronze, but it was Alyssa Liu who takes home the gold in what was such a beautiful skate. She was perfect, and I think she knew what she was doing. She knew she had a chance, and she knew she had to leave it all on the rink. A lot of skaters, when they are considered to be medal favorites, and she was considered to be a very strong medal contender going into this event. A lot of skaters who are considered to be big-time contenders, they play it safe. They do easier tricks. They don't attempt their hardest tricks because they are just trying to get on the podium. Alyssa Liu didn't want the podium. She wanted gold, and she went for it, and she got it. It was, like I said, it was a beautiful skate, very, very impressive. She did exactly what she needed to do, and she wins the very prestigious women's figure skating gold medal for Team USA. Now, on the other side of things, she was not the only Team USA figure skater who put together a very impressive free skate. Amber Glenn maybe put on the free skate of her life. She moves up from, she was in 13th place after the qualifying event, or excuse me, after the short program. She was in 13th place. Nobody could have seen this coming from Amber Glenn, who put together such a good run that she moves into 5th place at the end of the day. She moved up 8 spots from 13th to 5th based off of how strong her free skate was. And honestly, it makes you think, if Amber Glenn had skated a better and cleaner short program, USA could have had multiple medalists in the women's figure skating field. She maybe could have even gotten on gold, or at least gotten into the podium conversation. Instead, it was Team Japan who has multiple medalists. Team USA with 2. Isabeau Levito, also the third member of the Blade Angels, as they call themselves, the 3 women figure skaters from Team USA. Isabeau Levito, she put together another solid performance, but again, she's young. She'll be back for sure in 2030. She's only 18 years old. I think she will put together a stronger performance in 2030, but I think for her being there this year was more for the experience than it was for the medal contention. I think she still ends up in the top 10, which is pretty impressive for an 18-year-old in any sport. Like I said, it was Team Japan who gets on the podium, and Team Japan is so good at figure skating. That is probably their best sport just in terms of precision. They are very good at snowboarding as well. Japan has been quite good at snowboarding. But for Team Japan to claim a pair of medals in the women's event, they also claimed a medal in the men's event. It was a lot of Team Japan wins for in figure skating. A lot of Team Japan wins in figure skating. Not able to get better than Alyssa Liu, however, who takes home the gold. It was Kari Sakamoto who takes home the silver, Amy Nakai from Japan who takes home the bronze, and Japan also, by the way, ends up in 4th place. Mone Chiba, who took home 4th place, very close to getting a bronze as well. Amber Glenn does wind up in 5th, and the other American, Isabeau Levito, she finished in 12th. So, solid performance from her. Not her best, but again, she's very young. I think she will come back even stronger in the next Olympics. But again, a very, very good day on the ice for Team USA's women, and a big win for Alyssa Liu. I mean, I don't think we understand the gravity. This is the number 1 most watched event, the women's figure skating. The number 1 most watched event, even more than hockey, I believe, in the Winter Olympics, at least for the United States, is women's figure skating. And Team USA hasn't won a medal in this event in 20 years. To come out and win gold when you're not even expected to. Again, Alyssa Liu, she was expected to be a medal contender. She was by no means the favorite to win gold. Not the same way that Ilya Malinin was on the men's side. She comes out, she gets the job done. What a win. What a powerful win for Team USA. And they're so likable. All 3 of them are such likable individuals. They're very humble athletes. They're very kind. They support each other so well. It's been really fun to watch. So really, really fun stuff from the Blade Angels of Team USA, taking home that gold medal. Congrats to Alyssa Liu for being the first U.S. woman to win in figure skating since all the way back in 2004. Staying on the ice on the speed skating side of things, Jordan Stolz was upset by Ning Zhangyang of China for the gold medal in the men's 1,500-meter long track speed skating event. Stolz had already won a pair of golds, and he was going for his third in what could have been a 4-medal games for him. He was he still has one more race to go, but in his third attempt at winning a gold medal, he actually comes up just short with a silver medal. That was an upset, to put it very cleanly. Ning Zhangyang upset Jordan Stolz, and even Zhangyang out of China, he didn't believe he could do it. I mean, he was shocked that he had won. He was in disbelief. Jordan Stolz, for what it's worth, put together a great skate. He just lost it at the end. Unfortunately, he didn't have the finish that a lot of people expected him to have. I think he got off to a bit of a slow start. Most people expected that he would have. I mean, he is the best finisher in men's speed skating. So the fact that he didn't have the finish he needed to take home his third gold medal was kind of shocking. But at the end of the day, it's still a very impressive feat to win 2 golds and a silver. And again, he still has a chance to win a 4th medal, potentially a 3rd gold medal in the men's mass start event, which is happening, I believe, on Saturday morning. So still a very solid Olympics for Jordan Stolz, just not the one that he hoped for to win this one. This kid is 21 years old. He's 21 years old. He has 3 medals. So I think the media is going to make it out to be, oh, it's a huge upset. He has 2 golds and a silver at 21 years old. He's the best United States speed skater right now in the country. Let's all take a break. Let's all take a deep breath here, and let's just give China their flowers. China, he put on that was the race of his life for Ning Zhangyan. He really did. He skated the race of his life. He made it count when he needed to. Jordan Stolz didn't. It's okay. We move forward. Team USA, they're gonna be okay. And yeah, it was a good win for Team China. And then, like I said yesterday, China is slowly creeping up the medal count. They're slowly putting together a solid Olympic Games. Again, for the most populated country in the world, they're not still as strong as you'd think they are, but they're winning some medals. They're taking home some medals, and China is starting to establish themselves on these Olympic Games as a very good contending Winter Olympic country, which they didn't used to be. So kudos to China for starting to really come into their own at these Olympic Games as the second week continues. And speaking of China and their impressive Olympic showing so far, they continued their aerial skiing dominance. We talked yesterday about the women's side with Zhu Mengtao taking home a win for Team China. Well, now the men also getting it done. China goes 1 and 3 on the podium on the men's side for the aerial skiing. So China is just so good at the aerial skiing. Like I said yesterday, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that China is so precise, almost militarily, the way they're able to have the perfect form, the perfect hand form, the perfect leg form, the perfect ski form. It all comes together in their dominance at aerial skiing. Very similar to how they are so good in the pool at diving. And that's just what China does. They kind of put together some of these very niche sports, and then they're just elite at them. Absolutely elite at them, to the point where they're almost unbeatable. Switzerland does sneak onto the podium. That would be the reigning world champion, No Roth. No Roth was kind of the favorite to win this event. Wang Jindi ends up overtaking him, and it's Wang Jindi who takes home the gold for China. It was very narrow. Jindi with a score of 132.6. Roth gets a score of 131.58. So they separate by just 1 point in between. And Wang Jindi, his wife, also has a win in aerials. Zhu Mengtao, she has won back-to-back aerial titles. They are competing as a pair in the mixed team aerials event, which is kind of fun. And China is the favorites to do that. That's on Saturday. So they both won gold in their individual events. Now they are the favorites to win the gold in the team event as a married couple. That's awesome. Really cool family story there. The bronze medalist was also Chinese. It's Li Tianama. He ends up with a score of 123.9, just barely beating out Sun Jiaxu, also Chinese, who comes up with a score of 123.42. So the Chinese, they were in the gold, silver, and bronze positions until No Roth took the air. He was the last skier to go because he was obviously the highest ranked after the qualification round. And Noah Roth gets in there and claims that silver medal. It was very close. Honestly, I think it could have gone either way. From my perspective, I thought Roth's jump was actually a little bit better, but they gave it to China. They gave it to Wang Jindi. Defending Olympic champion, also from China, Qi Guangpu, he ends up finishing 6th. So China goes 1, 3, 4, and 6 in this event. They had 4 skiers make the top 12, and they end up with all 4 of them cracking the top 6 as well. So just true dominance on China's part in this sport. Again, I think it has to do with just their ability to be so precise, almost militarily, how much precision that those athletes have in China, and it really helps them out in some of these events. One of them is aerial skiing. So congrats to the Chinese again, and congrats to Noah Roth, the reigning world champion out of Switzerland, who takes home that silver medal. Now I want to talk a little bit about the sport of Nordic combined, which may be at its last Olympic event of 2026. Its last Olympics ever in 2026, excuse me. it's kind of a controversial sport. Nordic combined, essentially what they do, it's a combination of cross-country skiing, um, downhill skiing, and ski jumping. Um, and it's very, very heavily dominated by three countries, which is Norway, Finland, and Austria. They won all three. There's only three events: Norway, Finland, and Austria. All three events, they were the three countries who made the podium. Norway ended up with 2 gold and a silver. I believe Finland with 1 gold. Austria with a couple of bronze medals in there. Those are the only three countries that medaled in this event. I will say Japan and Germany both could have medaled in the team event, the team sprint, which just occurred today. Japan and Germany were both in medal position. They were in second and third place, and both of their skiers ended up crashing. Germany was actually in the lead after part one, which was the ski jumping, and Germany was really hoping that they could medal in this sport. They didn't end up getting the job done because, of course, there was a wreck on the course, and Japan also wrecking. The real problem is, outside of those 5 countries, Norway, Finland, Austria, Germany, Japan, and I think Sweden as well, outside of those 6 countries, this sport is not really a thing. And the Olympics does have standards where you have to have your sport being played in at least, I believe it's 40 countries on 5 continents in order for it to be considered like Olympic level sports. And so Nordic combined, it's starting to look like maybe it's not popular enough on most other countries outside of the Scandinavian, Norway, Sweden, Finland, as well as Austria, Germany, and then Japan for some reason is pretty good at it as well. But nobody else really is doing this sport. Nobody else is really trying in this sport. And it's opening up the door for conversations as to could it be excluded from future Olympic Games. Additionally, there's the controversy of the fact that the women do not participate. This is a men's only event. It's the only sport in the Olympics that only features men. Now, in the Summer Olympics, there's actually going to be a sport that only features women. That's going to be softball in 2028. So it's not completely unprecedented. You can do it. You can have sports with it where it's just women or just men. But it is kind of weird that women don't do this. Why don't they, right? I'm not really sure. Is there just no women who compete in this? I don't know. Maybe is there any women competing in the World Cup circuit? I'm not sure. But it's weird that they don't have it for the Olympics. There's not even an option. It's a men's only thing. It's very odd the way it is structured. And like I said, 3 countries dominated the medal count this year. One of them is Norway. The sport is called Nordic Combined. It's a sport that is native to Norway. You wonder why Norway dominates at it. It's because that's their thing. They invented it. They own it. They have the ability to just stack medals in it. Is that really fair to the rest of the field? Probably not. So the sport might be going away. And honestly, I don't think anybody's going to miss it, especially because it only has 3 events. The scoring is weird. The scoring is confusing. At the end of the day, if Nordic Combined goes away, I don't think it's going to be missed. And speaking of controversies, I want to talk a little bit more about some of these Olympic controversies. It's always fun to talk about the controversial stuff, and ski jumping is the story of the Olympics so far as controversies go, because apparently the ski jumpers are finding new ways to enlarge their body and therefore enlarge their suit that they get to wear, which is helping them go further distances in the air. Now, the truth is they are already going absurdly far. When they do the ski jumping events, they are jumping so far into the air, it's incredible. They're going more than a football field in length is how far they jump. So they're already going like 126 meters. But apparently for every centimeter of extra width on their suit, they can add around 1 to 3 more meters in their jumps. Now, obviously, you're like, well, you just need to be big, right? So it makes me wonder, why is this just a sport that the tallest person wins every time? I don't know. Clearly not, because they all pretty much land at the same exact place, no matter what height they are. So I'm not sure how that works. At the end of the day, though, the skiers have found an interesting solution. They are actually injecting their you-know-whats to grow them. Not for show, not because, not for any inappropriate reason. Simply because it increases the length of the suit, and so it allows them to travel further in the air. it's one of those scandals that almost seems like it's a made up story, right? It's one of those like that doesn't even make sense. Really? That's a thing? People do that? Apparently Poland is one of the key aggregators of this. Polish ski jumpers. You never know. You never know what they're up to over in Poland. Now they haven't really addressed this in competition. Nobody was really suspended, but there are rumors that in future Olympic Games there's going to have to be strict body measuring procedures to make sure this doesn't happen. Strict body measuring procedures for ski jumping. Yes, that's where we're at. Quite the odd controversy, if I say so myself. But I guess if it works, it works, and it seems to be working for some of these ski jumpers because records continue to be broken as far as how far they're able to jump off the mountain. It is, again, simply insane what they're able to accomplish with their ski jumping. But yeah, kind of a interesting controversy there, and not necessarily the one that you want to read about in the newspaper. But I'm going to talk about it right here because I love talking about the controversial stuff. Speaking of controversies, next we're going to talk about a controversial Norwegian skier coming up next. If you recognize this man's face, you've probably seen him on social media. This is Sturla Holm Lagride. He's a Norwegian biathlete skier who also shoots his gun. And Sturla Holm Lagride apparently cheated on his girlfriend so he's only been with his girlfriend for this is the crazy background. Starts dating the girl 6 months ago. 2 months ago, he cheated on her, but didn't tell her. Then 2 weeks ago, right before the Olympics starts, he does tell her. He tells her, he confesses, "My love, I'm sorry, I cheated on you." And she breaks up with him. Then he goes to the Olympics. He wins a bronze medal in a biathlon event. And right after winning the bronze medal, he goes on live television in front of the entire world and admits that he cheated on his girlfriend. He says he still loves her. He wants to win her back. And he apologizes for cheating on her in front of the whole world. Why would you do that, man? Like, a public... I get what he's going for. You know, he's trying to win her back, trying to be very romantic, right? Put on a display of romanticism. Kind of cringe, though. Kind of embarrassing for him, I think. Nobody else would do that. And what is she supposed to do when she hears that? I mean, that's my question. What is she supposed to do? Apparently, she did respond. She said she accepts his apology, but she said she's not sure if she is going to explore a relationship with him again or not. And if I was her, I wouldn't. I mean, I think there's a level of self-respect that comes to this sort of thing where if you respect yourself, you're not going to get with someone who doesn't respect you back. And if you are able to make that sort of mistake, and that's what he called it. He said it was the biggest mistake of his life, the biggest regret of his life. Okay, but you still made that mistake, and it shows, I think, that you maybe didn't respect your partner. Even if you loved her, even if you're attracted to her, maybe you didn't respect her enough to be fully committed and fully responsible in that relationship. At the end of the day, it's unclear whether the two of them are going to get back together. I would place my bets on no, but it was a very unique public display of affection and a public apology. Lagride followed that up by winning a second bronze medal as well as a silver medal in biathlon. So he just keeps on winning medals. He's actually having a very successful Olympic Games despite the fact that he openly admitted to cheating on his girlfriend. I wonder if the medals are making him feel any better or making him feel any happier. Probably not, but maybe he'll have some fun in the Olympic Village and maybe kind of get over her. Ultimately, that's probably what he's going to have to do. He's probably going to have to get over her, and I'm sure he will. Again, you make a mistake, you face the consequences of your actions. I hate to say it, but that's kind of where we're at here, dude. But you know, again, one of those unique stories talking about cheating. And speaking of cheating, Sweden's men's curling team has accused Canada's men's curling team of cheating in curling. This is another interesting, controversial story, and it makes me wonder, what the heck is going on in curling, man? I'm still starting to figure out the rules to curling. I have to be honest, I'm not a curling expert by any means. Apparently, Sweden believes that one of Canada's curlers left their finger on the rock for a little bit too long, and I guess that is considered cheating. I don't know. How does that affect it? I guess maybe it adds like a tiny little bit of weight. Um, Apparently, the match descended into chaos. There's profane insults. At the end of the day, Canada did win, and the results were not changed. So the Olympic Committee disagreed. Canada with the win, 8-6. Kennedy said, "I haven't done it once. You can f off." That's what he shouted to Sweden's Oscar Eriksson. Eriksson accused him of an illegal procedure called double touching stones after releasing them at the hog line. Mark Kennedy said, "I haven't done it once. F off." Eriksson replies, he says, "I'll show you a video after the game. I'll show you a video where it's 2 meters over the hog line." I guess 2 meters, that is a lot. 2 meters feels like they could be worth an investigation. The Swedish team leader, Fredrik Lindberg, said at this point the Swedish Olympic Committee will not seek an investigation. Both sides appealed to the officials. No results were changed. Mark Kennedy says, quote, "I have a ton of respect for Oscar Eriksson. He's one of the best players to ever play. I just told him I would never accuse you of cheating. I've been on tour for 25 years. He pulled a hogline official on us to make sure we weren't double touching. The hogline official was there for 6 ends, never said a thing, and he's still talking about it in the 9th end." So the officials didn't catch him cheating. At the end of the day, so according to world curling policy, a moving stone cannot be touched beyond the hog line. It is not a violation if a thrower double touches before the line. So maybe that's what was going on. Maybe he was touching it before it hit the line. The Swedish guy got confused or was just looking for something to aggravate him about. Maybe he was just trying to get in his head. I don't know. These guys have been doing this for a long time. I would highly doubt that Canada actually did cheat in curling. Either way, Canada, by the way, is going to the semifinals in curling, so they're very good. This is not like a bad team. Canada's maybe the favorites to win gold in men's curling right now. So this is a really good team being accused of something that I probably don't think they did, and I'm sure Sweden. I doubt that they meant to make a big deal out of it. They're just trying to defend themselves and win. At the end of the day, they're trying to win. Both teams at the end of the day are just trying to win. So I get it. I get why they would make the accusations. At the same time, I don't think Canada would have been cheating in curling. I don't know. That's just me. It doesn't seem like they would need to. They're really good at curling. Now, before we wrap the show up today, I want to talk about a new sport that I have really enjoyed at the Olympics, ski mountaineering. If you've never heard of ski mountaineering, it's a brand new sport introduced to the Olympics this year. I guess it's been being played on World Cup circuits for a while, but ski-mo is quite a fun one, actually. I really enjoyed watching the ski-mo. So first, I just want to explain what it is, and then we can kind of get into the weeds on what happened in both the men's and women's event, because both of those happened today. So I want to talk about that. But first, let's talk about, exactly what is ski-mo, as it is called for short, ski mountaineering. Essentially what they do, you're wearing these very thin skis, and it's kind of like a merge of cross-country and rock climbing, stair climbing, in fact, and downhill. You wear these skis, you go up the loop, and it goes up, 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 and then you go through the diamonds. There's 2 paths around the diamonds, so you go up, up, up around the diamonds. Finally, when you get to the top of the diamonds, you go around and you get to the stairway. When you get to the stairway, you actually have to take your skis off the bottom of your feet and you put them on your back. That's what you see the picture of there. Put them on their back and you run up the stairs. The whole thing is a race, which makes it really fun because you can see it happening in real time. I love watching races. That's always been my one complaint about the slalom events, is that they're not racing each other directly, so it's just about the timing of it. You can see the time, but you don't actually see them racing. Visually, I really love watching them when they race at the same time. It's the same reason why I don't love the bobsled and the luge events as much, because again, you don't get to see them racing, whereas in this, you see them racing. There's 10 of them going at once, all going up the stairs at the same time, so it's really fun. They get up the stairs, and then when they get to the top of the stairs, they take the skis off the backpack, put them back on, and they go down the hill. They have to go off one jump. If they fall, they're done, and the skis are very thin, so they actually could fall on the jump, and they finally get to the bottom, and that's how you win. Just get to the bottom first. It's a difficult sport. It's very fast-paced. You do it twice. They get one run, and then they get a second run in the finals. They do a qualifying run and then a final run. very, very fast paced. It takes about 4 or 5 minutes to get to the top and then back down in total. So it's about a 5-minute race. What I really love about it is there's actually lead changes, which is my big complaint about a lot of the races is one person just gets way ahead of everybody else, and then it's not really that interesting anymore to watch because it's just, well, clearly they're going to win. But in this, there's a lot of lead changes because every time, if you make a mistake, you can slow yourself way down when you're in the transition, when you take your skis on or off. The transition phase is what's going to either make or break your race. Plus, the stairs offers you a chance. Like, if you're really fast going up the stairs, you can move right ahead on the stairs. You might crash on the downhill part because the skis are so thin. You might slip and fall on the uphill part. The diamond there, you can jostle for positioning on the diamond because there's only 2 paths up the diamond. So you have to basically file in order, but sometimes they're jostling. I mean, there's a lot of lead changes in this sport. And that's what I find most appealing about it is that you really don't know who's going to win until they get to the bottom. A lot of sports is not like that. So I love this for that reason and that reason alone. I'm very excited. I'd love to see more of this sport in future games. But now we're going to recap what exactly happened in both the women's and men's ski mountaineering. So the women's ski mountaineering event, yeah, it was very fun. It was a fun watch. I watched the whole thing. They had 2 semifinals and then a final run to the top. 6 competitors were there in total. Marie Faton, Emily Harrett, Amy Alonso Rodriguez, Gianna Murata out of Italy was there, and another French, Marie Ravenel. And Marie Faton of Switzerland claims the gold. Emily Harrop was the clear favorite. And again, this is why it's so fun in ski mountaineering, because there's actually upsets and lead changes that are happening all the time. Emily Harrop was the clear favorite to win. She was way out ahead of everybody else. Emily Harrop, by the way, from France. And she was the clear favorite. She was way ahead. She went up the diamond first, and she made it to the top of the stairs first. So you're thinking, what happened? Why did Emily Harrop not win? Well, what happened was Emily Harrop suffered a really bad mistake in the transition when you have to. So basically, you go up the stairs, you take the skis off, and then you have to put the skis back on. And what got Emily Harrop was she puts the skis back on, and she kind of tripped up. She added about 10 seconds to her score when she put the skis back on, and she was passed up by the Swiss skier Marie Faton. So she ends up falling into second place. Heartbreak for Emily Harrop, who apparently is the number 1 ranked women's mountaineering skier in the world, but a great win for Switzerland's Marianne Faton. Apparently Marianne Faton is a mountain runner and a cross-country runner, and she kind of just recently converted to this sport, so she's kind of new to it, but she ends up being the one who claims the gold. Very impressive for her as well to claim that gold. And yeah, it was a great comeback win for her because the whole time she was trailing the whole time. She's in second place, and then Emily Harrop made the mistake. Marie Faton swoops in. Marianne Faton swoops in and wins the first ever women's mountaineering gold medal in the 2026 Winter Olympics. So good for her, good for Team Switzerland as they continue to rack up medals as well. And Emily Harrop does claim the silver. In the bronze medal position, a country that I had no idea was going to be good at this sport, Spain. Spain winds up in the bronze medal position, courtesy of Ana Alonso Rodriguez. It's the first medal for Spain of the Winter Olympics, and it's their first medal in years, actually, for the Winter Olympics. So congratulations to Spain getting on the podium and actually doing something of note in the Winter Olympics. Spain's always been a country that I always have felt like you'd think they could do more in both those Summer and Winter Olympics because they have a lot of people. But no, they end up with just their first medal in ski mountaineering, courtesy of, again, Ana Alonso Rodriguez. And here's a picture of her holding up her bronze medal, Ana Alonso Rodriguez of Spain, the first Spanish athlete to win a medal at these Winter Olympic Games. And finally, for the men's side of it in ski mountaineering, the man you're looking at on the left is Jan Kitzler out of Switzerland. So the women, Switzerland takes the gold for the women in Marianne Faton. Jan Kitzler has a massive opportunity to claim another gold medal for Switzerland on the men's side because he was the favorite to win for the men. But once again, similar to the way Emily Harrop failed to win despite being the favorite on the women's side, Jan Kistler fails to win for the men on the men's side because, again, he got tripped up and made a mistake in transition. So, once again, falling behind in transition is never what you want to do. Yeah, unfortunately for Jan Kistler, that's exactly what happened. He was in the final 6. He finished 6th place out of 6, which is just very, very rough, especially when you're going in as the favorite to not even make the podium. I don't think anyone really expected that to be the case. The winner for the men actually coming from Spain as well. So not only does Spain win their first medal of the games in the women's side, then they take their first gold medal in the games on the men's side in the name of Oriol Cardona Cole. That's right, Oriol Cardona Cole, the first Spanish athlete to win gold medal in these Olympic Games, and helping Spain to what was, I believe, their best Winter Olympic Games of all time, in fact, which is crazy to think about, that this is their best of all time. Again, you'd think Spain would be a little bit better, but yeah, a huge win for Oriol Cardona Cole. It was a comeback win. It was not something that most people thought was going to happen. He was considered to be a possible medal contender. Here he is, Oriol Cardona Cole out of Spain, but nobody really believed that he was going to come in and claim the gold medal. He was definitely kind of a long shot to do it. The fact that he was able to get there, get the job done, and he took advantage of people making mistakes. I feel like that's a big trend in these Olympics. We talked about it with Misha out of Kazakhstan taking advantage of the figure skating mistakes and taking gold. Cardona Cole had no business winning this game. Kistler was way, way out in front of him, but Jan Kistler made the mistake for Team Switzerland. Cardona Cole did not make the mistake for Spain, and so at the end of the day, what happens? Spain gets the win. France coming in second place in these ones as well. So France claims the silver for the women. They also took the silver for the men, and they are going to be a strong contender in the mixed relay. I think Switzerland and France, that is probably going to be the battle in the mixed team relay, which happens on Saturday. The winner, Cardona Cole, and then, in the silver medal position for Team France, the bronze medal position ends up going to the athlete of independent nations, which actually is for Russia. So, France takes the bronze. The bronze medal is Thibaut Anselme. He gets the bronze, Thibaut Anselme, and then the silver medal going to Nikita Filipov. Nikita Filipov, if you've never heard of him, he is an athlete of independent nations. He's actually Russian-born. Russia, of course, is banned from these Olympic Games, and I'm going to talk about Russia in a future episode and exactly why they're banned and whether I agree with it or not. But Filipov, he's the guy on the left there. He is skating. He's skiing not for Russia, but as an independent athlete. In order to get to do that, you have to say that you are opposed to the Russian government, which I guess he did. But he is a Russian-born athlete, and in essence, he's the only Russian to win a medal at these games. So we have the first Spanish gold medalist in years at the Winter Olympics, and we also have the only Russian to medal at these games. Pretty cool, a diverse podium. Team USA, they did not make the finals in men's or women's in this event. They did, however, make the mixed team relay finals, which again are happening on Saturday, so we'll be interested to see how USA fares in the mixed team relay. That is going to wrap things up for this episode of Coast to Coast Sports. If you like what you see, again, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that like button for more Olympics content.